From late summer 2008, that's Yal Nayem on Freedom FM, and before New Soul, you were listening to my man Greg, who assures me that he will be back on your radio next Monday at about 8 p.m. or thereabouts. Well, good evening. Welcome to the Night Cruise, 2 hours of the best in romance, relaxing and chill songs, bringing back your sounds, sensations and feelings of the 90s and the noughties. My name is Feargal, and I'd like to thank you for allowing me into your world this evening. And if I say so myself, I think I've cobbled a half-decent show together for you this evening. And I say that because, you see, after midnight, I'm going to give you a crack at a game called Triple Threat. And I'm telling you, you won't want to miss out on that. While in this hour, I want to get some Tuesday shifting on with you. And if you're sitting there and saying to yourself, what is he on about with this Tuesday shifting malarkey? Don't worry, because I'll explain all in a few moments' time. And of course, if you want to get involved in Triple Threat or Tuesday shifting, then you will need to get in touch. In fact, you can reach out to me for any reason whatsoever this evening. You can do that on WhatsApp and text to 086 206 8888. And if you are going to use WhatsApp tonight, then I'd love a voice note from you. If you don't want to WhatsApp me, then you can email me, hello@freedomfm.ie. And if you're on the socials, then check out Voice Active Fergs, spelt as it sounds, on Insta, Threads and Blue Sky. And while you're on your devices, remember to download the Freedom FM app, where you can listen back to your favorite Freedom FM shows. Not only that, you can pause and rewind live radio. It's the Night Cruise on Freedom FM, the best in 90s and noughties romance and relaxing tunes on the radio just for you. And now that you're here, I really want to get some Tuesday shifting on with you. And perhaps if you're new to this part of the cruise, I should run Tuesday shifting by you. You see, I want to hear from you on WhatsApp or text to 086 206 8888 if you are at work this evening. And I don't mind what kind of work you're doing. Maybe you're on a farm, you could be in the factory, in hotel reception, in a bus depot. It doesn't matter what work you're doing, just as long as you're doing some sort of work. And if you are, then you gotta get in touch and tell me who you are, what you're working at, who, if anybody, you're working with, and what, if anything, is getting you through your Tuesday evening shift. 086 206 8888 on WhatsApp, and let's celebrate everyone who's at work this Tuesday evening with a bit of a shift, shall we? From February 2002, and let's have a think. What was happening back then? Well, we were all watching Black Hawk Down in the cinema, while at the UK BAFTA Awards, Peter Jackson was winning big for the Fellowship of the Rings movie. Some of us were staying up late to watch the Winter Olympics, and of course Shakira, she released Underneath Your Clothes. This is Freedom FM's Night Cruise, where it's time now, my friends, to get some Tuesday shifting on. And if you're wondering what that means, simply put, around this time every Tuesday evening we spend a bit of time saying hello to and celebrating the work being done by everyone on the night shift this evening. So let's not waste any more of your time and get our first Tuesday shift on with Mark Pierce, who says on this WhatsApp, Feargal, can you give a shifting shout out to me? Of course I can, Mark. Who goes on to say, I'm a bus mechanic in Swords in Dublin. I'm working until 7 in the morning. Not only do I have to maintain our fleet, but if a bus breaks down en route across the city, I've got to go out and rescue it, says Mark. Currently, I'm doing some light maintenance on one of our fleet while listening to Freedom FM on the radio in the garage. Thanks for getting in touch, Mark, and I hope your shift won't be too busy. And remember to download the Freedom FM app so you can take us with you all the time. Now, I've got another WhatsApp here, and this one's from Wendy Snow, who's out in Dublin Airport. Feargal says, Wendy, I work in customer care at the airport. It's been a busy shift so far, helping people find the buses, taxis and car rentals. I'll finish work at midnight, and at the moment, I'm doing some paperwork out of the back of the stand while listening to Freedom FM on my earbuds. Thanks for getting in touch, Wendy, and safe home when your shift ends. Now, finally for this round, Joe Cobb has reached out to me from Dundalk. Feargal says, Joe, this evening I am at my work at a pharma packing company. I pack and prepare critical medicines that will be delivered to pharmacies around the country tomorrow morning. It's the team I work with that get me through my shifts, says Joe. Thanks for reaching out this evening, and I hope the music here on Freedom FM and of course your work colleagues keep you entertained all shift long, Joe. Now remember, if you're at work this evening and would like to get a Tuesday evening shifting shout out, then you know what you have to do. Get in touch on WhatsApp to 086 206 8888, but be quick because we'll do the last round of Tuesday shifting right after we hear from Train. It's Freedom FM's Night Cruise, where we're just finishing out this week's Tuesday shifting. And if you're wondering what that means, basically at this time of a Tuesday evening, we like to give a mention on the radio to anyone who's currently in work anywhere in the country. So let's not waste any more of your precious time and say hello to Andrew Yates, who sent me in a WhatsApp from Cork. Feargal says, Andrew, this evening I'm working in my job in car park security. Between now and my shift finish at 6 a.m, I'll be keeping an eye on the screens from 5 different car parks dotted around the city. And not only that, I'm listening to Freedom FM on the office radio. Thanks for getting in touch, Andrew, and I hope your shift won't be too boring, but let's face it, it won't be, will it? Because you've got all of us here on Freedom FM to keep you company all night and, of course, all morning long. Now, our final Tuesday shifting for today goes out to Emma Long, who sent me in this message from the break room in an insurance call centre in Dublin. Feargal says, Emma, I'm the shift manager for the German-speaking section of the call centre. My team are on call until 6 tomorrow morning. I'm taking a break right now before returning to the floor in about 30 minutes, so can you please say hello to me? Done and done, Emma, and thanks for reaching out. Now, if you enjoyed getting some shifting on with our listeners this evening, then you know what you have to do. Come back next Tuesday, just after 11, when we'll do it all over again. You know what? While I like the Fatboy Slim remix, I absolutely adore the original Trip House version of Brimful of Asha. And if you want to get your hands on that version from your music streaming service, then search for the Corner Shop album When I Was Born for the 7th time. Good morning and welcome to the 16th of October and the second hour of the Night Cruise from Freedom FM. How are you? Thanks for joining me. My name is Feargal, and for the next hour or so I'm going to play you some amazing 90s and noughties relaxing romance and chill tunes. And not only that, you'll be glad to know that we're just in time to get into our triple threat game. And if you've forgotten how this game works, then grab a chair and let me remind you. You see, just before the show started, I bobbed into the production studio here at Freedom FM, where I dug out 3 famous 90s or noughties romance relaxing tunes out of our library. I slowed one down, sped one up, and left one as it is. Then I mushed all 3 of them into a short snippet, which I'm going to play for you in a moment. And your challenge, if you want to play along, is to try to identify what 3 songs I put into the triple threat. Right, with all those words done, are you ready for your first listen? Good, lend your ears to this. So if you fancy being in with a shot of possibly winning a name check, no key rings this time, they're all gone, but a fabulous name check on the radio in a bit, then bang me over a WhatsApp to 086 206 8888 and tell me what 3 songs these are. And if I get any wrong answers, I'll share them with you right after we hear from Beth Orton. It's a brilliant song and a brilliant LGBTQ plus anthem, isn't it? That's Christina and Beautiful on Freedom FM's Night Cruise, where so many of you lovely night owls have been in touch to play along with this week's triple threat game. Now, I'll be honest, some of you have sent in some wrong answers, so in order to clear some of those up, let me get them out of the way right now. And I can tell you that this week's triple threat does not include Tina's Golden Eye. Who sent that in? Nor is If I Let You Go by Westlife in the snippet, and for sure I can tell you Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers is also not there. So if you think you know what 3 songs these are, fancy being in with a shot of possibly winning a name check on the radio in a bit? Then WhatsApp me your answer now to 086 206 8888 and be quick because the answer is on the way right after the New Radicals. It's the Night Cruise on Freedom FM, and I'd like to say thank you to everyone who's been sending me in their answers for this morning's Triple Threat game. And the event, you've forgotten the songs in the snippet. Here they are again. Now, if you're a regular listener, you know the computer in the studio only allows me to see 4 names at any one time. So while many of you got this one correct, I can only say good morning and well done to Laura Vaughan, who sent her answer in from Ballyfermot, Keith Beard, who got in touch from Lucan, Isabel Muller, who's over in Ferndale this morning, and John O'Sullivan, who got in touch from Coolock, who all correctly said that this week's Triple Threat are... Before I tell you, remember, if you enjoyed playing Triple Threat, you know what you have to do. Tell your friends to tune in next Wednesday morning just after midnight when we will do it all over again. As for this week's Triple Threat, they are in reverse order. Simply Red for Your Babies, Just the Way You Are by Bruno, and Feel the Love from Elton. That was the last of our Triple Threat. Simply Red and For Your Babies tells me that is all the mess I can make of your radio this week. Thank you for your company, both you and your messages made to the show this morning. Aidan Power, well, he'll serve you breakfast at 8. And right after him, Glenda Gilson herself will be on the mid-morning bit. Nikki B, she's going to do the next night cruise at 11 p.m. tonight. And up next, Darren takes over with Essential Beats live from New York. And before I go, I want to remind you to download the Freedom FM app. It's the only place where you can listen back to your favorite Freedom FM shows. Not only that, you can actually pause and rewind live radio. And if you're wondering when I'll be back, well, we'll have our next get-together on Monday morning at midnight. Until then, thank you for your time this time. So until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.